What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another cold email success story.
小刘受伤了。
Now you die.
Great. I wanted to give a very unique situation with cold email, which your offer and your pricing and how high ticket it is.
舔我的屁眼儿吧！去死吧！
We have 107 days, and I know people don't like that time frame, that number, but you open up a Democratic primary, you would have had black women who were the strongest voting bloc.
我要杀了你们！
Harris be highly upset if it was not Kamala Harris. You would have had someone starting with zero infrastructure. I hear your concern. Primaries are not important, and open primaries are not important. All right, guys, so we got to talk about Barack.
Joe Biden was very disrespectful.
你一点荣誉性也没有。
准备受死吧！他中弹了，烂人！
Landslide defeat to global president Trump, okay? And Obama, you can argue, is part of the reason why Kamala Harris experienced that landslide defeat because
Hey, what's up? Yep, sure.
Standard to survive. Then we're all going to have to work towards a renewed commitment to pluralism principles. Because the alternative is what we've seen here in the United States and many democracies around the world. Not just North Korea, not just public sector, but increasing interest on the part of politicians and their followers to violate democratic norms.
Now that's my thing. Democratic norm. What the fuck is a democratic norm? What the fuck is a democratic norm? I don't want nothing normal about us being $35 trillion in debt. The democratic norm is that.
But increasing willingness on the part of politicians and their followers to violate democratic norms. To do anything they can to.
Do you get that? Democratic norms. Who would want a fucking democratic norm? Bitch, you lost. You need to get the fuck on, go about your fucking business. You lost. You lost. Fuck a Democratic norm.
Many democracies around the globe. Not just more gridlock, not just public cynicism, but an increasing willingness on the part of politicians and their followers to violate democratic norms. To do anything they can to
Tell me more about the coffee enema.
get their way.
Wow.
To use the power of the state to target critics and journalists and political rivals,
I really need to.
and to even resort to violence in order to gain and hold on to power. There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power, either by actually expressing votes or criticizing the armed forces, or using the judiciary, or the justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm.
Wow. Somebody needs to hold up a mirror to Barack Hussein Obama, who clearly lacks the ability to self-reflect. Because everything this man said, trying to lecture about the dangers of the other party, what the other team might do, and what could possibly happen in this country. These are things that his party are currently doing right now. Like, you talk about using political violence to get your way. That's what Democrats continue to do. What was the BLM protest? What was Antifa? What were the Wade riots? I mean, you can't forget there was an attempted assassination on a Supreme Court justice by a far-left lunatic, right? Somebody that's a part of Obama's party, right? On his side of the house. We can't forget there were 2 assassination attempts, probably more, on the former president. And we know for a fact at least one of them was inspired by right from the Liberal Union and the Democrat Party. We know that for a fact. Undisputable fact.
The egg cannot come before the chicken. The chicken has to be there first.
Tell me if this resonates even just a little bit.
Most cops don't want you.
Oh, buddy, that shit came out of gas or whatever.
You even know what's wrong with your car before you take the mechanic. That way you can tell good mechanics bad. These will help you as me.
She's amazing. Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Wow. You got a challenge this one?
She's amazing. Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Wow. You got a challenge this one?
She's amazing.
Filming in Ireland, and it's telling provocative stories again. The Irish say incredibly funny things at terrible moments. Maybe she should just give him a leg over. I'll keep him quiet. You're such. It is a good idea, man.
The Garveys are like every big Irish family that I know. The way that we show love.
We also know for a fact that Trump was politically persecuted. They weaponized the legal system, the justice system, to go after their political opponents. That's what Democrats do. But yet this guy is trying to lecture people on this and warn people about the possibility of the other team, the other party, other people doing that, when that's what his party is doing. These are the same people that we know for a fact.
It just seemed like
State to go after their political opponents and journalists. We talk about free speech, something else that Obama mentioned there, right? You know, how the government is colluding with big tech in order to censor conservatives during the pandemic. This is the same party that basically set the precedent that it's okay to ignore the Supreme Court when they make rulings that, okay, like how Biden tried to ignore the Supreme Court when it comes to student loan debt forgiveness, right? And also, by the way, we can't forget, they want to stack the Supreme Court, right? They want to stack the Supreme Court with liberal justices so that they always get their way. Amazing. Again, literally everything this man said is just projection. And the part that really gets me the most is when this guy talks about democratic norms, right? And upholding democracy. You would think the Democrats would have let go of this entire old talking point on democracy, right? When this dude is the chief architect of the coup against Joe Biden, this dude was responsible for overthrowing democracy within his own party, suppressing millions of votes for Joe Biden in the Democrat primary. That also was finagled, by the way. Right? Let's not forget that. But he was responsible for that.
Do you agree that Obama and Pelosi did not want Harris?
No, they didn't. It's not as high. I have a lot of friends in the Obama world, and actually, I'm friends with Speaker Pelosi, and I spoke with her before I actually went on air to encourage President Biden to step aside. And I touched base with her again before I did that.
And what did she tell you?
It's not a conjecture for me. I know they didn't.
I appreciate that. What did she tell you about that?
Well, she said it was fine that I went on air to encourage President Biden to step down. And it was July 21st when I went on Fox News Sunday, and I said it was time for him to step down and pass the mantle to the next generation. It was necessary. It became clear that he was no longer able to effectively litigate the case against President Biden, against Trump. So, and Obama and Pelosi were both hoping for a primary instead of a coronation, so to speak.
Who do you think they were hoping for?
I don't think Pelosi was hoping for anyone in particular, or not that I know. I do know that Obama was carefully vetting Mark Kelly, a senator from Arizona. I know there were other names on his list. Saying that Kamala Harris was necessarily at the top of the list, but he was definitely considering other candidates. I don't think she was ruled out. I just think that everyone was, a lot of people, students in the party, were hoping for a lightning primary, and President Biden essentially preempted that by issuing his endorsement 30 minutes after he dropped out. I don't think anyone saw that coming. We did not see that coming. I think a lot of people anticipated that he might have stepped aside, but no one anticipated the tuber that we got that day.
Yeah, so it's amazing to me that the puppet master of the Democrat Party, right, the chief architect of the coup against Biden that went wrong, right? He didn't go the way he wanted to go, but he did get Biden out of there. Is trying to lecture people on violating democratic norms and doing whatever they can possible to get their way. But that's exactly what he was doing in his own party with Joe Biden, right? Biden clearly didn't want to drop out. He thought he could beat Trump, which was delusional, but that's what he thought. And he fought tooth and nail to stay in. But Obama said, no, you got to go, or else we're going to take all your money, right? We're going to tell our donors, don't donate to that guy, right? We're going to guarantee you lose to Trump if you don't drop out, right? Just saying. I honestly think that Obama should look in the mirror and understand that his word doesn't mean anything anymore. Right? It's not 2008, right? It's not even 2012. He's not the figure that he used to be. A lot of people looking back at Obama and saying that this guy is terrible. He was the divider in chief, okay? This country was not nearly as divided as it is now until Barack Obama got into office, right? Before Barack Obama was in office, this country was not as divided as it is right now. Barack Obama has ushered in an era of political divisiveness that we haven't seen maybe since the Civil War, right? I'm so serious about that. And here you have this guy still trying to lecture the country on things that he has no room to talk about whatsoever. He should take a seat, right? If Obama really wanted to help out the Democrat Party, he should take a seat, right? His era is over.
Hey, you're right. Take a fucking seat and shut the fuck up. You're lost. Nobody don't want to deal with you no more. Nobody won't have nothing to deal with Democrat norms. We don't want to deal with no Democrat norms. Democrat norms is what got us into $35 trillion worth of debt. No more Democrat norms.